Hey guys, it's Jane. I'm back here for my infinite jest read along with myself thing. I think, 72% through, according to my e-reader, which actually is closing in on the end because I checked the other day and the end notes start at like 82%, I think. So this is probably my penultimate, or maybe, depending on how things go in the next few days, antepenultimate video. So I'm still really enjoying it. I'm also emotionally kind of girding myself because my recollection is that most of the funny bits kind of drop off towards the end and it becomes much more a straight out tragedy in the last sections. So there's that. I'm also spending a lot more of my kind of internal processing power looking back on the experience now that I'm kind of nearing the end. For me, this has been a really quite intense reading experience. Because I'm a compulsive reader, I'm not actually a super quick reader in actual kind of page turning. I'm not slow, but I'm not super quick, but I'm just a compulsive reader. I read every day. It's just structured into my life and has been ever since I can remember, which means that in a normal week I get through a couple of books, probably more. 2.5 is probably standard for me as just a normal reading week. Whereas this is a book that because of its length, but also because of its complexity, which means that it becomes a slower read, this is a book that I've had to stay with for longer. I've had to stay with for more than a few days. I've had to stay with it for a couple of weeks. And just the experience of being in a world like that over such an extended period, relatively speaking for me, period of time, has made it a much more intense experience than many books. And I think I really enjoyed that, the sort of walking around in something for a while. It's not something that I get to enjoy all that often because of the way that I read. So that's something special about this book. I've also noticed after I spoke last video about the Hamlet references, which somebody had told me, and I knew that that's where the title came from, but actually speaking about it and like verbalizing that, I've actually noticed it more and more in the last few days of my reading. Just this morning there was both a direct kind of reference to the graveyard scene in a footnote, and there's also something happening in the story which I hadn't realized before was an echo of Hamlet. Like I've read this book before, but I hadn't noticed that it was an echo of Hamlet before when I was reading it. So that intertextuality is kind of interesting, although, you don't want to overplay it. There's so many things going on in this story. That's probably enough of a catch-up. I can't really tell you anything plot-wise, but again, I have picked out a little nugget to read to you, and this is what I found the other day. This is another nighttime conversation between Hal and Mario at the tennis academy, and it's Hal doing most of the speaking. Some people, from what I've seen, Boo, when they lie, they become very still and centered, and their gaze very concentrated and intense. They try to dominate the person they lie to, the person to whom they're lying. Another type becomes fluttery and insubstantial and punctuates his lie with little self-deprecating motions and sounds, as if credulity were the same as pity. Some bury the lie in so many digressions and asides that they like to try and slip the lie in there through all the extraneous data like a little bug through the windscreen. Except Oren used to end up telling the truth even when he didn't think he was. Would that were a trait family-wide, Boo. Maybe if we call him, he'll come to the Whataburger. You can see him if you want to, if you ask, maybe. Then there are what I might call your kamikaze style liars. These will tell you a surreal and fundamentally incredible lie and then pretend a crisis of conscience and retract the original lie and then offer you the lie that they really want you to buy instead, so that the real lie will appear to be some kind of concession, a settlement with the truth. That type's mercifully easy to see through. The merciful type of lie. Or then the type who sort of over-elaborates on the lie, buttresses it with the rococo formations of detail and amendment, and that's how you can always tell. Pemulus was like that, I always thought, till his performance over the urinal. Rococo's a pretty word. So now I've established a subtype of the over-elaborator type. This is the liar who used to be an over-elaborator but has somehow snapped to the fact that rococo elaborations give him away every time. So he changes and now lies tersely, sparely, seemingly somehow bored, like what he's saying is too obviously true to waste time on. I've established that as a sort of subtype. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
There's Mum.
Hey, sweetheart. You're so cute. You're so cute. Yeah, you are.